Here's a cheap, poorly maintained BMW 335. A car in this condition is one that I would not recommend to a potential buyer 99% of the time. The amount of care and time it would demand could be infinite. That said, the potential is gold if you put it in the right hands. And that's when we step in, to transform a total piece of shit to a straight up show car with all the bells and whistles. We will be tackling maintenance, performance, aesthetics, and technology. Absolutely nothing is going to be left out. This E92 is going to get an epic transformation in today's video. All of this is going to get installed onto the car. We got some M3 control arms, a new clutch, ST coilovers XTA edition, AFE intake, pure stage 2 turbo, stage 2 fuel-lit low pressure fuel pump. We got a new valve cover because of course maintenance first, and all the gaskets for the car, Extron's head unit, some brand new headlight lens. We got a good amount of carbon fiber upgrades. These are for the mirror covers, carbon fiber rear diffuser, front lip, trunk spoiler, and probably what I'm most excited about is this HKS full exhaust system for the E92 335. And no, before you guys ask, this is not my E92. This is a customer's car, and since he's upgrading so many things, I figured this is a great opportunity to show you N55E guys some love. If this car looks familiar, it's because it was previously owned by this guy, Mr. Swap Depot himself.
Yes.
Dude, are you ready to get all that onto this car? Is gonna be unclapped.
Yes. So if y'all watch my channel, you know that I bought this car for relatively cheap. I had some issues. There was a lot of things that are changed, a lot of things that need to be fixed before we do all these performance mods. Some of it is not so cool, like a valve cover. That's yeah.
Here's a quick rundown of the car's current condition. First thing that you may notice are the M Sport bumpers and new taillights. We recently purchased and installed those off camera before deciding to film an episode on this car. The paint, as you can see, is pretty rough, and it looks like someone was preparing to either get it painted or wrapped. N55 engine doesn't look terrible, but can definitely use some upgrades. The apex wheels are in rough shape, window trims are completely missing, tints are falling apart, and the side markers are missing.
Everything will be fixed before the car gets picked up, and you guys will see at the end of this video the reaction of the new owner. And actually the new owner bought my old E90.
Yes, there's history there.
Yes.
If you guys want to see the condition of the car when Ali bought it, which was actually a lot worse than this, make sure to check out his channel. I'm going to leave it linked down in the video's description. Now that the car is on the lift, here's a few things to note. The car already has an upgraded VRSF intercooler and downpipe, which was supplied from us. An odd observation we noticed is that the car had mixed aftermarket springs. Megan Racing in the rear and H&R springs up front. Like, why? The wheels are not in the best shape, and we were originally planning to refurbish them until we noticed two of them had large cracks. And lastly, the car had a good amount of oil leaks. One from what looks like the oil pan or rear main seal, and of course the oil filter housing. So the order we're gonna do this in, we'll do the coilovers first, then we'll do the control arms, and then we'll move on to the brakes. So first things first, we're gonna remove the nuts from the strut itself. I took care of this one off camera. Most people tend to loosen the strut tower brace and then they can get to it. I just used a wrench just to get in there and didn't have to remove it. Gotta give it up to BMW. Let's throw a 16 nut and let's do a 17 right in the middle. They're right next to each other. Why make it so difficult? I feel like I spend half of my time just looking for tools.
What the hell is this?
The dust screw is really doing its job.
Yeah, where's the bump stop?
Oh God.
The bump stop doesn't even exist anymore. Look.
Oh, you guys have.
It's the remainder of the bump stop.
There's the bump stop, guys.
It's the action.
Bro, that's all that's left. Oh, hell no.
That's why the car goes ka-dum, 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 ka-dum.
Bro, it was good. Here's a side-by-side comparison.
Good.
You got fully adjustable height, and you got some camber plates. So if you guys want some good fitment and some flexibility, adjustment, very good stuff. Definitely a little bit on the higher tier for ST, but definitely well worth it. They're just KWs on a budget. That's pretty much what it is.
Good.
Adjustable? Not adjustable.
You kind of need these with coilovers because you are changing height, so you do want an adjustable end link. These over time are like Chris's knees. They clapped.
I'm 33, but my knees are like 75 years old. So fully adjustable, a lot more robust, and they look better.
Beefy.
Move your big shoulder.
What the f? I'm the install guy. What do you mean? When you install these, you do want to make sure that you don't install caster, but you need to install camber. If you do this, you're gonna have caster adjustment.
4 out of the 5 customers that come in have it installed incorrectly. No.
You don't need caster adjustment. This is not. Motion is this way, not
this way.
So install your top hats the correct way. Record this.
All right, I got to. I have to record everything.
Jacob made it cool.
Think that's enough clearance? I can tell you right now this can...
What if it was done?
See? Just like Chris's torn meniscus. Yeah, I don't think the rubber bushing is supposed to do all of that there.
It started to smear.
I'm pretty sure it started rotating on the inside. That's literally how I do it.
Okay. That's the hardest part of this.
Yeah, I think this one's clapped too. So. Somewhere.
That's weird. Hey, aren't you supposed to tighten the control arms with preload?
Not that one, because that's a spherical bushing.
Okay, what about this one?
Car's not getting aligned yet.
Well, hopefully we're able to eliminate like 50 comments before you guys place it in the comment section.
You know what we're doing, okay? Just like the M5, we put preload on it. This is a fucking video.
This is a fucking remix. Moving on to the brakes. Let's go.
To work with.
As you guys can see, a brake job is well overdue on this car. The rotors literally have no life and the pads are pretty much worn to metals.
I mean, it doesn't have a lip, but they do look like they've been on there for a decade.
Also, before anybody says anything, yes, we are installing it the correct way. Just press on it? Yes. All right, so we got the rotor, got the brakes. Looks a little too clapped to be considered a transformation, so we're gonna take care of this right now. I don't know what that was, but I needed to get that out of my system. There you go, Jacob.
We like you.
I love that car.
That's how you remove it.
This is why we keep this there.
Why are you like tossing it gently?
Sorry if you guys can hear the music in the background. I'm not sure what's going on with the neighbors today, but they're all twerking.
Orlando Fiebre.
They're all men.
They're all mental.
The tree stub. Make sure to remove it because the adjuster goes in place of this. Don't just put the adjuster in here because it wobbles in there and it's not meant to go with the adjuster. And you won't be able to go as low as this suspension is designed for. We're moving on to some fun stuff. Maintenance. The really isn't.
It is fun.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I'm doing this job again pretty much, removing the turbo. If you guys know, this car didn't have a turbo previously, and the motor was just sitting on the subframe. There's a couple things we can't reuse, but for the most part, we can use everything. Reason why we're doing a valve cover is, one, I don't know the condition of this valve cover. Two, I need to inspect the motor inside to make sure everything's good. And three, hopefully we can get rid of the smoke. It's either turbo or the valve cover.
Yeah.
So we're eliminating both. Hopefully we can get rid of the smoke, because I know these cars don't have an issue with valve stem seals, unlike S63 and N63 cars. And along with that, I guess we'll take care of whatever else is needed. Random, like an exhaust nut on an intake manifold. That's cool.
That's weird.
We also have to do spark plugs and coils, because I know cylinder 5 and 6 have just been swimming in water. So intake manifold was definitely off at some point. I don't know why, but why is this here, and that there? This is supposed to be an 11 mil, not no whatever.
This car's clapped, bro.
It's very clapped. Quick release.
Having fun playing with the fluids,
Yeah, sure.
splashing around in BMW fluids.
I dropped the bolt. There it is. Oh, I found it.
Oh, you found it. Oh, caca.
Give me that. Give me.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's giving birth.
There you go.
So here's the stock turbo. Take a look at the quantity of the blades and the size compared to the pure stage 2. Holy crap, what a difference. You got 9 blades here versus 5 blades, and this is like double the size. And I guess here's a side-by-side comparison. Yep. About to make some good power with this bad boy right here.
The install process is the reverse of whatever the f you did, so I'm gonna need his help, and this is where we cut. Look how crispy! So as far as install goes, we did change exhaust manifold gaskets. That is a requirement. They do get pressed in when you install it. So we use new gaskets for that, and then all the new lines that were installed previously, we changed the O-rings again and put it back on the turbo to make sure we don't have any leaks, you know, when we start the car. Besides that, everything else got reused.
So quite a bit happened off camera. Turbo is successfully installed and all the stuff that goes with it. And of course, since this is a high mileage N55 and we're already there doing the clutch job, it made sense to tackle the rear main seal as well. The next thing we were moving on to was the clutch. The customer decided to go the OEM route because they weren't really planning to push a ton of power, where slipping would be an issue. That said, if you have extra money to spend and you're looking to make significant power, we recommend either going with DKM or Clutch Masters, which is something that we offer directly. Message us on IG or email us if you have any questions. Well, moving on to the valve cover, as you guys can see.
As in, we already did it almost.
I mean, it's just a valve cover job. I don't think it's that special. We didn't have to film the entire process.
Bro, we need to see everything. This is your DIY. If you can't remove the valve cover, just pull the wires. I don't think it's normal for oil to come out of the valve cover.
Yikes.
We'll see how the new one is, and with the new turbo, I don't think it should have this issue.
Over torqued spark plugs? I know you kind of, huh? Loose spark plugs. Let's over tighten cylinder 1 and it'll compensate for the remainder loose spark plugs.
Bosh. Of course. Of course. Piece of shit. Cylinder 4 was losing compression because, you know, we don't tighten spark plugs around here. Maybe that's why, you know, the car has laggy throttle.
And we're gonna go with our go-to options for spark plugs, NGK and Delphi coils. Finally, the one thing that I'm probably the most excited about is the HKS exhaust, which we're about to install onto the E92. Guys, keep in mind, we have 10 in these in stock, and I think the only ones available in the world. And once they're gone because HKS decided to discontinue them. Obviously, it comes in 3 different pieces. We kind of already assembled it to expedite the process. Warning.
What's the warning?
Now, there's a bunch of knockoffs that look like these, but they're not HKS.
I mean, there is, yes, there is. The knockoffs don't have the correct size tips, what I remember.
Yeah.
I know this system fits good.
Yeah.
That's all I know. It does have resonators as well, and mufflers. For some people that want to look for, you know, loud ass exhaust system, this
This is not it.
is not it. But it definitely has a good tone, and it sounds classy.
Yes. Let's do this. Fitment is looking very, very, very good. Able to install the exhaust shield here with the 2 bars. And yes, it looks very tight, but it's not touching. Check this out. Here's the test right here, right? Sheet of paper, going through. Yep, there it is. Very, very good. Here is the rest of the exhaust system, all the way back to the mufflers. Fitment for the tips. Very, very nice. Anyways, we lowered the car just to see what the tips look like, and I gotta say, they look pretty damn good. Keep in mind, the diffuser is not fully secure down there yet, but here's what it looks like. The tips are big enough to essentially fill in the entire space there for the diffuser. I know you guys really, really want a sound test just as much as I do. We're gonna go ahead and put the intakes back on, the rest of the stuff in the engine bay, and we'll get to it.
We're replacing Kaka with Alibaba special, just to see if we can fix this dumbass cap that
Always leaks on every E-chassis car.
and it looks similar to OEM. The only thing is they're pointed down versus pointing outwards, which kind of actually works because most of the time when you run a charge pipe, these lines tend to hit the charge pipe. Maybe this will be a good solution for people that want to run different types of charge pipes.
Yeah, Alibaba.
Alibaba.com.
Grande! Moving on to the AFE intake. Quick note before we begin installing, if you have a factory intake box, you're gonna reuse the grommets that attach right here. So it's not just dangling around, because you would have to transfer those over to the AFE ones. Let's say you already have an aftermarket unit, like for our example, we had the BMS. We don't have those grommets, and we're gonna have to purchase new ones in order to install this properly, because if not, again, it's just gonna dangle around. So if you have a stock gearbox, no issue, just transfer it over. If you have aftermarket, just make sure to order those grommets. And Ali conveniently stole these from my F30. So there you go. You either buy new ones or you, actually I'm not gonna advocate to steal, but
Steel.
I'm not gonna lie, that intake looks freaking serious. Kind of looks out of place,
Beefy.
but it looks beefy. And depending on your wants and needs, you can get 2 different filter types on our website. You can do the oiled version or the dry one. All right, time for the cherry on top. Oh, wow. Okay, see, now the intake actually looks a lot better now because you have that there. And I'm sure once you do the cowl and everything, it'll look cleaner. Me likey. We're moving on to this vital component, which is something I've mentioned so many times. The one on your car will fail. It's not if, it's when. Yeah, but they start to leak, you lose coolant, car overheats, and you kill through your water pump, your thermostat, and then some people still buy another OEM one. Do yourself a favor, buy the CSF one. It's about the same price if you think about it. If you go from OEM BMW, you get better cooling and you get better reliability.
since we're installing, you know, shiny parts like that, might as well install a shiny part like this. Full billet piece, and it does hold the cartridge firmer than the OEM one. For the love of God, when you do your oil change, just replace this O-ring so you don't have low oil pressure lights.
Yeah.
Because I've seen flat ones too many times, and Vanos codes come with it. Yeah. Shiny.
Oh, look at that fitment with the intake though. Ooh, that's baller. Damn, bro. I'm actually kind of upset we didn't do this one.
The Musselman
The
thermostat.
Musselman thermostat. I didn't think about it. We definitely would have recommended that to the customer as well.
Links down in the description below. We sell
I'm
that.
still gonna leave a link to Musselman, but we definitely should have done it on this car. It would match so good.
Continuing with our, ow, I forgot that was there.
You forgot a hood was there?
Yeah.
Our cars normally don't have hoods around here.
Yep, apparently. Having a beefier radiators, if you have inlets, sometimes they tend to rub against the belt, so you might want to zip tie it correctly. Once you install the radiator, you do want to put the hardware. There's hardware here and here, somewhere in the corner. You'll see it, but I've seen it too many times where the radiator just goes.
We're gonna go ahead and get the previously installed VRSF intercooler. We found out what size this was. I was so confused at first. This is the 5-inch one. I believe it's rated for 650 wheel horsepower, which is more than enough for this N55.
Installed. Yeah, guys, it just comes like this.
It just floats there.
And you're just gonna put a pole jack underneath it.
Beefy!
Yes.
It is time for the first start. It definitely did not start. That exhaust sounds good. Yes. So I told you guys that all the modifications were going to be done in one video. Yeah, that's not happened. We can't drive the car yet, and we ordered a clutch sleeve, which we need for the car. So in order to not keep you guys waiting too long for content, I decided to split it up, and this is part one. For part two, we're gonna continue transforming the car, wrap, wheels, Extron units, and other small carbon fiber parts throughout the car. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on that video. And also hit the like button. As you guys know, it helps out the channel. Take care.